We're back. So the Z is down off the Daytona jacks, by the way, if you have one of these cars. So everyone says you can get ramps. No, see these ramps? These are ramps. They're low profile. They don't work. So you can't even drive the Z up on these ramps. But these are Daytona 3-ton jacks. They're not cheap. I think they're about $160 a piece. Is the best money ever invested. What I do is just put one under the right side frame, just behind the front wheel area, and line up the other one on the other side so that they're exactly on the same part of the frame, and then jack up one side maybe a couple of inches to go to the other side, and just go back and forth, leveling the car till I get up around 10 to 12 inches. 10 inches basically is enough to do anything I need to do under the Z, get all the way back to the transmission, tailpipes. So 10 inches. These, then of course I put safety jacks in place, these Craftsman right here. So I put these jack stands under the car as well. So I have the jacks, get up on jacks, and then I have jack stands on the frame just for safety. So we're at this stage, multi-ATF, Motul, this is the back. If you want to read all that, I dare you to be able to do it. But this is on Concept Z and Z1 websites, and we're very big Concept Z performance in Phoenix fans. They're our #1 supplier. We bought all the engine parts for this custom 550 horsepower engine built from Concept Z. They're straight, they know what they're doing, they don't mess around, they give discounts anytime they can, and they know these cars. So what we're about to do, I'm going to show you how we're going to get that. Probably, I think about 6 or 7 of those quarts are going in the transmission of the Z. But what I've been working on while I was letting it drain, this is a carbon fiber shroud cover. We have another brand new one. This one's kind of a little bit beat up, and the reason it's beat up is because this is a Concept Z Performance aluminum racing radiator. It does not have any, as you notice, there are no places on it for a hood prop holder. And so we just installed this right now, just a few minutes ago. We had some hood prop holders when we bought some clamps we ended up not using. We painted them using plastic paint, VHT black plastic paint. Took a drill and just drilled a pilot hole, and then tried to fit this holder down in it. Just open the hole up a little bit more, and so we wanted to be super snug. And then we're finally at the last stage. We open it up enough. We just had to really work and force it in there, and it's locked in now. So you see my temporary hood prop. It's a Stanley Pro I-beam level. It's working, but what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna show you. So what we're gonna be coming to, that red handle, that is the dipstick for the transmission. We're gonna be pulling that out, and we're gonna be putting the fluid in through that transmission dipstick tube right there. That's how it's done. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do it. So let me go put the GoPro, which is now mounted on a tripod, so you can see. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take, this is actually siphon hose that comes with those little siphon pumps. They're not expensive. You can buy them the reason I bought them is we did a fuel pump upgrade on the Z back in January of this year, actually right before Daryl Starber, because the OEM fuel pump and the fuel pump control unit, the FPCU, both went out within about 3 days of each other, leaving us on the side of the road and in a parking lot. We had to be towed twice. So anyway, these really don't work that great. I ended up actually draining the tank instead of trying to pump it out. But what I wanted to show you, this is how we put the differential oil in. You see how I've got a zip tie there? I've cut a slit in the side of this hose. That's how we got the differential oil into the differential. But what we're gonna do now, so this has already been pre-cut because we used it before to put the transmission fluid in. And you see how, if I'm getting that angle right, you see how I'm without that being cut, a slit in that, I would never get this funnel tip in there. But with it slit, what I can do is just kind of start working this in, forcing it in, pushing and forcing. It doesn't have to go in very far. We want it in a little more than that. And so once we get it in, and once you get it started, you can see that the tip of the funnel is in there. We're gonna take a zip tie. I'm not even sure if this camera angle is working. I hope it is. I'm not a pro YouTuber. That is not my deal. But so what we're gonna do is, hopefully you can see this. I'll definitely bring it to the camera when I'm done. We're gonna put a zip tie around this piece. We're gonna grab some needle nose pliers. We're gonna pull that tight, nice and tight like that. Just grab some cutters and cut that off. And then this is what we've got. So we've got a funnel that you use every day for everything. And then we have some hose that came with one of those cheap, I think they're maybe 20 bucks at Harbor Freight siphon pumps. We cut a slit, forced the tip in there so that we got the tip at least past the slit. We know we've got a good connection there. And then what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and go set the GoPro up over here on the car and bring the light to you. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put that in the, if I can find the right place for the light. We're going to take the dipstick out. This is the transmission dipstick. I'm not sure you can see it, I think you can. We're gonna go ahead and put this over here for now, out of the way. Of course, we're gonna clean it all off before we put it back in and start measuring. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna just go ahead and start grabbing quarts of multi-ATF Motul, and we're gonna start pouring it in. And of course, I've never used this particular transmission fluid. It has a spout and a spigot, and they are all high-end lubricant products have a spout or some high-end spigot situation that they're impressing you with because you've spent a lot of money, so they want you to feel you got your money's worth. So what we're gonna do is just force that down in there, and we're just gonna start pouring. And you can pour fairly fast, but just kind of watch it. When it gets up toward the top of the funnel, you can keep pouring, but just kind of watch from the side and make sure that you're not going to overflow, because we just cleaned up a ton of transmission fluid on the floor. We don't want to clean up any more. So just continue on pouring. And I'm not going to belabor you guys to watch me do all of it. I just wanted you to see how we put, so like Kenneth Chong, the guy that we followed his procedure, he detailed with pictures, steps for how to change the, to do a service on this transmission, which means we didn't pull any gears out or torque converters. What we did was we pulled the pan out, pulled the strainer out, cleaned the strainer, made sure that no strange stuff was coming out, metal primarily. So this probably give you a better view. So you see how we have our little siphon hose, that little red hose that's going down into the dipstick tube, and we're just pouring transmission fluid right in that funnel. The reason that we don't have more access is our hood prop is drying. We repainted it, and we're using the Stanley Pro I-beam temporary hood prop. But anyway, we're going to continue on, and what I'll do is I'll shoot a clip when we get the transmission, get about a gallon in there, and we're going to fire up the Z and top it off, and I'll show you how we do that topping off procedure here in just a little bit. Thanks. See you soon.